Hey everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to be reading Dolores Claiborne. It's the first thing I've ever read from Stephen King. So I'm going to take you guys along with me while I read this and let you know my thoughts and opinions on him as an author. Sounds good? See you guys later. Okay, so I don't know what kind of angle this is, but we're going to roll with it. Here's a mess. Recently got out of the shower. We're not put together at all. But I wanted to update you guys on this book. I'm 252 pages in. I only have like 50 pages left, so we'll be finishing this tonight for sure. After I finish this tonight, I'm going to be jumping in with It Starts With Us. I'm going to finish this tonight, and then I'm going to annotate this one, and I'll add that in at the end of this. Started with this book, right? And then I got into a reading slump reading this book. And it really drags on. We're kind of re-talking about things. She was over-explaining things. But I feel like Stephen King did that because that adds to our character. That's just who she is as a character. It's not his writing. It's not that he overput things in here. It's that the character draws on when she talks. That's just part of who the character is and her character development and who Dolores is. So far, I would rate this 6 out of 10 for me so far. We're going to see how the book ends. So since I got into a reading slump earlier this week reading that, I picked up this to try to get me out of it. The Mystery of Black Hollow Lane. This is the second one to that, so it's like the sequel. We've read both of these now. I was hoping this would pull me out of it. It did. I read half of this, got into a reading slump, picked up this. It helped. I got to about where I am now, 252 pages with only 50 pages left. And I was like, I don't want to keep going. I don't really want to read this anymore. I didn't want to keep going. So I picked up this book, and I've read Katee Robert before. It's the Neon Gods. I forgot what the series is called, but it starts with Neon Gods. So I've read that series so far up to date for what she's come out with. I think she's coming out with another one for that series next year. And after reading this, I feel like I'm ready to pick back up the Stephen King book and finish it. So I said I thought this one was going to be a 6 out of 10 so far, and I would let you know. I love these ones. I would say this one's like an 8 or a 9 out of 10. It's fun. It's simple. I think I liked the first one more. So maybe this one would be an 8 out of 10 and the other one would be a 9 out of 10. I think that's what I did. This one I would probably give... I'd probably give this one an 8 out of 10 too. There's content warnings in this. If you want to know them, look them up online. This kind of turned into just like a weekly reading vlog instead of just one specific book. Okay, I'll catch up with you guys again soon. Okay, so I'm back. So this whole book is basically her telling her side of her boss / friend's death. It just doesn't seem like there's nothing more to the story other than her side. You don't figure out if she gets charged with it. You don't find out anything more than her side alone. You don't get to hear anyone else's side involved. You don't get to hear the police theories of what happened. You're gonna get like the whole middle of this lady's life story to explain her boss / friend dying. And then at the end, you're not gonna know what happens next or what happens to Dolores. So if you like being left without knowing answers on what happens, read this book. If you don't, then probably don't read this book. I'm tempted to give it like a 5 out of 10. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of hate because it's Stephen King. But I feel like I need to give this a 5 out of 10 for the storyline. For character development, yeah, he stuck to her being a rambling old lady, but it didn't give us a full story. The story was just a couple hours of her rambling on about her life for years and killing her husband and how she didn't kill her friend, but she doesn't think anyone's gonna believe her. That's the whole book. You don't find out if she actually ends up getting charged for killing the friend or not, or if they end up pressing charges on her for the murder of her husband or not. Like, you don't find out anything. There's no resolution in this book. It's just a bunch of rambling about a bunch of things in this lady's life. And a lot of them are bad. So I guess if you like stuff like that, then read this book. But I'm mad. It feels honestly like it was a waste of my time to read it. I'm so happy that I only bought this book for $1 because I couldn't imagine buying this full price. It says US price is $23.50. I could not imagine spending $23.50 on a book just to find out that we don't know anything. At the end of it, we don't know anything. I'm going to go start It Ends With Us, and I'm going to be annotating it, and I'm going to hope that we end this reading week on a good note. Okay, I've now finished It Starts With Us. I tabbed the heck out of it. Pinkish ones, which you can't really see the colors that well right now, but pinkish ones for like sweet moments or romance moments. Yellow, where's a good yellow? Yellow for Lily's character development. We did blue for Riley's character development. Grayish ones for Atlas's character development. And green ones for moments that were like negative or sad. I'm not going to get down and break into the book too much because I know it's going to be very popular and I don't want to spoil anything for anyone. I would say that I appreciated this one more than It Ends With Us. I was not expecting to have to reread the journal entries from Lily's journal that I read in the first book again in this book. That was kind of annoying. I did like that most of this book was Atlas. It was his work or his relationship with Lily or his relationship with family members, his relationship with friends. I liked that. There were definitely parts of the book that brought up thoughts and feelings from similar situations in my life that Lily goes through in the book. And in those sections, I wrote so much. It's therapeutic in a way if you have been through something like that because it makes you think about it in a different way, and you can also write down all your thoughts and feelings if you're going to annotate. So I recommend it for that, but I would definitely say that you'd want some space between reading the book and the situation. So I've had years, so it was okay for me, but if I had read this in the moment, I think it would have been a lot harder. But that's just me personally, so everyone kind of has to know themselves and what they can handle. I would definitely look up trigger warnings for, but honestly, both books, It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. I loved Theo in this book. I won't talk about him too much because, again, I don't really want to spoil anything. Theo isn't really a huge spoiler, though, but I loved Theo. I feel like his sense of humor added so much to this book for me. There were points in this book where I could not stop laughing, and I was crying. I started tearing up from how hard I was laughing because of how amazing Theo is. He is so funny and crazy. I feel like I would rate this like a 7. A 7 out of 10. I feel like I'm being too hard on it, and I feel like everyone loves Colleen Hoover, and it's not that she's not a good writer. It's not that. It's just, maybe it's the similar situation thing. Maybe if I hadn't been through anything like this in my own personal life, maybe I would have liked the book more. I think that she writes the perspective of this situation very well. I think she portrays it pretty well. Everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different, so I kept that in mind while reading it. I like how it's dual point of view, so we go back and forth. Throughout the whole book of Atlas's point of view and then Lily's point of view every other chapter. That's pretty interesting. It really gives you a fuller picture of the situation that they're in because you're bouncing back and forth between both perspectives the whole time. And so you'll get Lily and her mom and what they think about situations, but you'll also get Atlas and his friends and what they think of situations. So that's pretty interesting. Makes it more of like a whole picture type of thing. So I liked it. I think some parts could have been better, but I think it was pretty good. I think this one was better than the first one again. If you liked Atlas from the first book, read this one for sure. It's mostly Atlas. Okay guys, and that's gonna be all for today, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.